Good morning. Well, it's a morning where I'm at. The Google Earth portion is still running, and I'm going to talk over it a little bit because you see a performance graphic at the bottom of the Google Earth showing some kind of alarming numbers right now. And I've been playing around with it a little bit, so this is partially a test and partially a demonstration. This is showing the CPU 53, 55, 52, 56, the GPU 94, 96, 94, 99, 98. I've experimented with a few different things trying to figure out what is causing that. I've got a few things. Generally, those numbers are much better during the stream, and I'm just going to do one thing right here to demonstrate one of the things that I discovered today. You're not going to see me do this, but I'm going to switch on my streaming computer to the Zoom session. I'm going to turn off my camera on the Zoom session so that Bertland cannot see me. He can see me, but his microphone is muted for you guys so you don't hear him. So here I am clicking to stop my video so Bertland no longer sees me over Zoom. And see what that does to GPU. Takes a little while for that to respond, and I'm still trying to decide if it's been consistent. 93, 94, 93. Now last time I tried it, the numbers went down much quicker, but I had turned off the camera and muted. So I'm going to try that too. I'm going to mute my microphone for Bertland. 94, 92. I was getting down into the 30s and 40s when I was testing this before Bertland actually came on to the stream or into the Zoom session. So now that he's in this Zoom, hey Bertland, go ahead and turn your camera off in Zoom. He hasn't done that yet. Okay, maybe he hasn't heard me. Bertland, can you turn your camera off, turn your video off for Zoom for a little bit? We got 18 seconds to go. Okay, Bertland's video is turned off in Zoom. Now let's see what happens. 92, 94. Yeah, that has not come down. All right, so let's go live. Here we go. I'm coming on, and there I am. And I'm expecting some some sluggishness here. Now, Bertland's video is still off, and I can see, yes, that's jittery. And if I look at the stream health on YouTube, YouTube says the stream is healthy. So YouTube is receiving my video just fine, but my streaming computer is, I don't think, sending it out well at all. There is a little freeze, okay? So now what I'll do next, Bertland's video is still turned off, and I think my audio to him is also turned off. And what I'll do now is right-click on Google Earth and close that. And then, let's see, right-click on the timer and close that. Boom, that just brought me right down 31% on the GPU, 34, 33% on the CPU. So that certainly made a big difference. So when I was trying my experiments earlier, the Google Earth didn't seem to make all that much difference, but sure did this time. So let's see. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Let's go ahead and bring Bertland on before we do AVDWCG check. And whoops. Okay, so Bertland, you can turn your video back on. And let's see. We've got to unmute his sound. And I'll turn my video on for Zoom. If I get to the right place. And now Bertland can hear me over Zoom now, and I think I hear him running the YouTube stream in the background, and there he is. Now, before you say anything, I want to prepare the chat room. Do you see what he is wearing, chat room? That is a headset with a microphone. What is Bertland gonna sound like now? Lay it on us, Bertland.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? How is everyone doing? Hi. Welcome. I have a surprise for you guys. So I'll let Doug lead in and we have a surprise for you guys.
Yeah, let's do a little experiment first, though. Since we talked a little bit about your microphone, try turning your microphone so it's about half the distance to your mouth from where it was. Now here,
Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
even a little bit better. You know, the closer it gets to your mouth, the more and more you'll get that podcast quality.
Sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's what we
I'm
want, guys.
realizing that when I had you on my big speakers when you first came on, it was like, boom, here's Bertland.
Hi,
It was
everyone.
awesome. Through these little things, it's a little more tinny.
Yeah.
Okay, so the watch is on the desk, AVDW. So let me know about audio and video in the chat. Oh, and test. I haven't set the DVR yet. I keep calling it DVD. It's not a DVD. It's a DVR. Digital video recorder, not digital video disc. God, I wasn't sure I was going to remember the acronym, what it stands for. All right, so let's see. Alan says it sounds good. Tim Sal says you got a mic. Darren says it looks okay, looks good. I'm here. Javi Menor is here. Early squad. Tim, Tim was early. All right. YouTube, and then Alan's at the beginning. Oh, scroll up. There's Darren and Ken saying he'll have to catch up. I thought it started at 3. I see it's 2. So now I'm realizing when I first saw that, I thought, I didn't understand what he's... I guess that means he can't watch right now. And he's going to have to come back to us later. All right. And looks like Ken was first in. And... let's get back here. I guess my intention was to punch over to this, and I'm on the wrong screen there.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. To actually show who's here, or who is admitted they're here, right? We got 12 concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
If I go up here to the kebab menu and click on participants, these are the only ones that the chat room is recognizing as participants right now. And there's Chris McGraw just popped in. He says, hi, Doug. So if you haven't typed anything in chat for a while, you may not show up on this participants list, even though, let's see, like Ken Stout, we can see in there, but he hasn't typed anything recently. So you can actually still be actively watching the live stream, but not show up in that participants menu.
Yeah.
All right, so let me come back to the Zoom session. And now let's focus on Bertland Hope.
Yes, Doug. How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
Yes.
You have some show and tell today, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, everyone. It's been a wonderful week. I must admit it's been a wonderful week, going through the motions of figuring out how I would be delivering this content, the CSEC content for information technology. And I came up with a very nice method. I built some PowerPoint slideshows and I turned them into videos and then I upload them all over social media. So it's not about trying to get views right now. What I want to do right now is I want to create the content in the respective sections under the respective headings, and then I have that to use as teaching material when I'm going out and actually delivering the lessons. But for now, persons can watch the videos and basically learn some stuff. So I did some videos, and Doug, yeah, that's just the icing on the cake for right now. Yeah.
Good. Were you gonna show some of those to us, or is that not gonna work?
Well, what I had done initially at the start of this video is I had shared a link to the playlist of those videos. in the chat. And for everybody in the watching the video right now, at some point in time, probably at about 2:30, I'm going to announce we have a giveaway. You know, we have a giveaway that I'm thanking everyone for their support. I really appreciate everyone's support, I must say. And so I want to give away something, and I'm going to announce the giveaway at about 2:30. So just stay tuned, everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Can I go ahead and show a teaser of the link that you posted?
Yes, definitely. Please go right ahead.
So let me
Go right
switch
ahead.
over to computer 2, and here's that link. Now remember, YouTube doesn't like me clicking on a link that's going to take me away from YouTube, so it's going to give me that message, is it? Oh no, this is still on YouTube, so that's okay. Okay, so here we have. That's interesting. This is a different YouTube layout than I've seen before.
It's to a playlist.
It's a playlist. Oh, okay. It
Yes.
was a link actually to a playlist.
Yes.
Okay, so then here's a play all button, or you can play these individually.
Yes.
And these are numbered 11 facts on the early years of computer history. Oh,
Right.
4 facts generation of computer history. 4 facts second generation. Wow.
Yes.
You got a bit of stuff here. Now let's get a little peek on what the content looks like. I'll just go single click on that.
Okay.
And computer fundamentals. Now this is 6 minutes 26 long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the numbers on the keyboard. When I press the number 1, it'll go to the 10% position. The 2 will take me to 20%. 3 will take me to 40%. So we're just get a little bit of peek about how you've put this together. So is this original material, or did you take somebody else's material that's already created?
No, actually, this is all original material. The information is out there. So I did the research.
Yeah, you pulled the material in, but you put it together. This is your video.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That looks really cool. And
Yeah.
it's got 28 views, which means you went around to 28 different computers and watched it. No, I'm kidding.
I just went around to 14. I did it twice.
14. Okay. All right. So then let's come back to you on Zoom. That looks cool. That's quite a lot that you did there. Let's see. There was 5 of them in the playlist at this point.
Yes.
And those are good amounts of time. I guess I should continue with this, is just point out 6.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. Of course, I'm rounding, and 8 3/4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are very digestible, consumable.
Yeah.
And it looks like it kind of moves along. So
Yes,
very
it
cool.
does.
Very
Thank you.
cool.
Yes,
All right.
thank you. Thank you so much. So what I had done was, after I had created those videos, in creating those videos, right, I had to work out like a workflow of like how I would actually get the content created, do the whole research, get the content created. So I had to document a whole workflow process for doing one of the videos, which include, first thing I had to do was like I had to check the CSEC syllabus for the topic. Then I had to research the topic. Then I had to create the slide notes. So I use Notepad++. For anybody out there, Notepad++ is what I use. You know, you use Notepad++?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any reason to use it.
And then I created the slides, like the slide title. What I want is to title each the presentation in Notepad++. I created the caption after I did like the research for each slide. I created the caption based on that. Then I created a project folder on my desktop, and then I created a PowerPoint presentation. And then I created the slides, each of the slides, right? And then I had to create voiceover for each of the slides. So what I did, because I had created the content, like each slide text I had already, I just created a voiceover, right? And then I added the transitions to the slides, and then I added animations for each of the elements on the slide. Then I added like a emphasis animation. So you have 2 different type of animations in PowerPoint. You have like entrance, where it comes onto the slide, and you have exit. I don't use exit, but you have emphasis. So what the emphasis does is it can make it shake, or it can make it spin. So when it appears on the screen, and it does something else. And then after I did that, I added timing. So for example, the emphasis, I don't want to have to click for it to do the emphasis. I want it to happen automatically. when it appears on the screen. So I did that. And then I added voiceover. I added the voiceover to the slide and added timing to that. So like it begins playing immediately after the transition for the slide. It starts to play the voiceover. And then I had to rehearse the timing for the slideshow. So what I did now after I did the timing for each animation element and the timing for the voiceover, I had to now rehearse the timing for the slideshow itself. So you run through the slideshow timing and you click and you make everything appear at a specific point in time when you're doing the voiceover. And then after I did that, I had to fix any issues I found, rehearse the timing again, and then I had to create a video thumbnail.
Yeah.
Then I had to start OBS. When I start OBS now, I added a display capture source, I added audio capture source, and then I had to start recording in OBS, and then I ran the presentation. So after you do the rehearse the timing, you can just run the presentation and it will play out. So all the slides will transition, all the animations will happen, everything will happen automatically to the end of the presentation.
Okay.
And then after I did that, I basically let the presentation run and I just go do like 50 push-ups, drink some water, eat some fruits, And then when it finished, I exited PowerPoint, I stopped recording the OBS, I exit OBS, and then move the recording to the project folder. Then I open up Premiere Pro. And in Premiere Pro, I close, because sometimes when I open it, I always have my recent project open. So I have to close that. Then I create a new project, right? And then I add in the video capture source. And then I have to cut out, like when I was switched, because I start record the screen before I start the presentation. So I have to cut out that point. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to call time on you.
Okay.
You've given us a lot of detail in there, and you're getting a little bit long into the detail of it because that's what you've been into, and that's where your passion is right now. But I think we got the idea that there's a lot of process to it that you've been learning and working on. So we'll summarize it there. I'd like to try giving an elevator pitch type of synopsis of who you are and what's going on. Like if we have somebody has just found my channel, for instance, and they stumbled into this video and thinking, what in the world are these guys talking about? What is this about? I don't understand. So you're in Jamaica, you're a career IT professional working for the government there, but you're starting an IT business on the side. And as we've been working with you week by week, you've kind of gone around from one thing to another looking for a place to fit. And now recently you found this, what I'm going to try summarizing as, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is providing content that's needed for teachers for their continuing education. And there's some organization called CISA involved with this. Now, is that a fair synopsis, and do you want to correct me or add a little to that?
Well, I like where you're heading with it. CSEC is the Caribbean body that does the examination for the Caribbean region, so they're in charge of that. They offer the certificates. So most of the examinations that you take in secondary school are provided by CSEC, formerly CXC, Caribbean Examination Council. So what happened is I want to go into delivering content. Actually, I want to go into teaching IT or maths, but basically starting out with IT. And basically what I do is I empower people with ICT knowledge that I have. So what I want to do is I want to create content because, as I said, I did some research. I went onto the CXC website, dug up the syllabus. In some of the syllabuses, they have actually breakdowns of what last year's exam was like, and basically how much, like they did a mean count of the scores of each of the question. So say, for example, question number 1, the mean score, the average, the marks you can attain from that question is 15 marks, and the mean score for that question is like 3 point something. So what I'm saying is that the teachers are somewhere in there, something not clicking. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Something not, so the children not understanding what is being taught, and some of the teachers are not knocking a soul, you understand? But persons, I'm sure most of the teachers that teaching don't have my level of expertise in IT, like it's not second nature to them. You know, they teach IT as a subject, but it's not like it's second nature to them where that's what they do. So it's more like I am apprenticeshipping all of the persons that come before me instead of just regurgitating something to them, you know, it's like I'm actually transferring real experience to them, not just knowledge, like not just
Okay.
information, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
So you one of the things we've talked about along the ways is look for pain points. Look for where is your client or your target audience having pain. And I recall you using that terminology, and you discovered that there is some pain point for them in regards to this. And so what I'm understanding that you just told us is that you were able to access information showing where the teachers appear to be weak by
yeah,
virtue of those tests, and therefore they are providing weak instruction to their students because they're not strong on those points, and you're finding ways to bolster their understanding of those subject areas.
right. Basically,
Fair?
I'm creating create actually basically I'm creating content because let's say even all right, some of the like nobody is creating content to teach ICT to the kids, right? What they're doing is they're sharing somebody else's content. So what I'm doing is I'm creating content in a Jamaican
Specific.
voice
Oh, yeah.
for the subject for students in
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica and probably in the Caribbean who understand how we sound and how we speak, you know, transferring the knowledge to them. And other teachers can use this as teaching material as well if they see fit to share with their
Okay.
students, you know. So I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that the results have shown. That's what the figures, that's what the analytics has said,
Okay.
right? In the reports that these things that like the transfer of knowledge is not happening correctly. So
That
I
sounds like you found a terrific need
yeah,
that you can fill.
yeah,
So and what I saw of your materials there, that looks like that's going to work out. I'm enthused for that.
yeah. So far I've done like I've been doing the first introduction. Basically I'm doing the basic introduction, doing most of the theory. And so far I'm doing like the basic generation of computers coming up from the first generation or the early years coming up to
Right.
now. So I did up until the 90s. So I have the fifth generation to current car actually living in basically the fifth generation now. So and then who knows what's after that. So that's I'm going to do some research on that actually today and create a video for that today, tomorrow, and post that. So I finish out this series and then I have that I can move on to next section in the syllabus. And we can see that. So
Yeah, what
take
you
it
were
away,
talking
Doug.
about there is going through the different generations. So your first one was 11 facts of the early years. The
Yeah,
second one is 4 facts, first generation of computer history.
yeah,
Then 4 facts on the second generation, 59 to 65.
yeah.
And then the third generation and fourth generation. So then that was, yeah, and that's where you're at now. That,
So this even doing the research for this thing right here has taught me a lot and basically reopened my mind to a lot of things like in terms of like when persons are choosing computer hardware and stuff like that, you know, some names should stand out to you. Intel should stand out to you. IBM should stand out to you. Lenovo should stand out to you because Apple should stand out to you. You know, these companies have been around for ages doing this thing. You know what I mean? These guys have decades of knowledge in making computers and affordable computers for persons. You know what I mean? Compaq and all of these people, but it's just eye opening. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Going back in time and reading these stuff.
Now, those had a number of views on them. Have do you have a what do they call it? A test group, maybe a small group of people of actually teachers that can
Okay.
watch these early and give you feedback as
Okay. So
you're still creating.
what I want to do is for the when I finish this section here, which is I have one more video to create, I want to go share it now. So actually that's the thing
Oh,
now. I
good.
want to begin to like sharing the playlist on, let's say, for example, a JTA website, those things on social media and see the reaction I get, share it, send it to some teachers and and ask them what they think about it. And
Yeah.
that's, yeah, that's like, that's my, that's my end after I finish like each section, share it out and ask them what they think and implement those suggestions into the next set of videos I'm going to do.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I did was I had documented everything inside of what you call it, OneNote. So
Yeah.
I created a workflow document and I make sure like I keep in track of all of the videos. So when I create a video, I create a document for it with the data created, and on that page I have like the title of the video and basically the I have to make sure I make even
Do
for
you
YouTube.
do you want to just show it to us?
Sure, I could do that.
Don't go into any great detail. Just give us just
Share
show
screen.
us a bird's eye view of it.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I just see a oh, there it is. Yeah, it just popped up.
Yeah. So
So
this is
workflow link hashtags. Yeah.
oh, you're seeing that one.
Yeah, we're seeing video data. We're seeing a graph.
Oh,
Starts with workflow, goes down to 11 facts on the fourth generation.
okay.
We see about 4 columns. It's kind of narrow on the
Yeah,
screen.
I'm fixing it.
All
Is it
right.
better?
Yeah, that's a more comfortable
Okay, great. So
view.
all right, so this is the workflow I was showing everybody. This
All right.
long
All right.
yeah, so this is basically how it looks.
This is how
This would
you're
be the
organizing your work on this.
yeah,
Awesome.
keeping track of everything. So I have like the links here to the videos, and I have created like shortened versions of the links so I can share them and track where
Uh-huh.
stuff coming from. So I use Bitly for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I noticed that was a bit.ly that you put into the chat, I think.
Yeah. And then I have the YouTube playlist, Reddit. I have Reddit as well, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
because these things, the Facebook page doesn't require you to have an account. Reddit doesn't require you to have an account. YouTube doesn't require you to have an account. A
Okay.
LinkedIn business page doesn't require you to have an account, like to view the content there. It doesn't
Yeah.
have, so you can share these out publicly. And I just put in them places. So this is what one of the videos page would look like. So this is the caption here. I made note of all the times as well, because when you post with the times on YouTube, it give it the
Right. I
chapters.
noticed that you had the time indexes on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you give it the chapter markers when you have the time. So
Oh,
I just
let me, can I take a moment and
yeah,
demonstrate that?
yeah.
Yeah. I've been actually wanting to tinker with this on an actual
Video.
time-stamped video. So let's bring this up big and good. And then here on the timeline, we can see these increments along here. When you flip the mouse over them, they kind of pop up, and that thumbnail right above my mouse gives the name of that index portion or that chapter.
Yeah.
So then the way that is formulated or done is down here in the description area, we
Yes.
have these timestamps. And so
Yeah.
these are the titles of those chapters. So all you have to do is put this into the description. You don't have any other, there's no other checkboxes anywhere. There's no configuration anywhere. You just put this into your description. There's nothing you do to make them blue. You just type the timestamp. You have to start with 0:00, although I tried doing it without that and it still worked. But they tell us to do that. So you put in the timestamp, you put whatever you want as your chapter title, and it's YouTube will just automatically create these increments. Now then another piece of this, well, you can drag the playhead forward to the increment that you want to go to if you want to go to a particular chapter. And chapters is a term that YouTube uses. You can click on one of these timestamps to go straight to that location. And then there's another piece here is Shift key question mark brings up these keyboard shortcuts. And this is the piece that I hadn't tested yet. So these are all things about the keyboard keystrokes to make different, to rewind and forward with the J and L, or there's also somewhere else with using the number keys. But what I want to get here is chapter. Control plus left arrow, control plus right arrow. I'm going to dismiss this and go test that because I've been wanting to test this. So here we're at that point. Now if I hold down control key and press right arrow, it goes to the next chapter. And then control right arrow goes to the next chapter. So it's just another way to maneuver through a video. So cool. Since you're using those chapters, that gave me an opportunity to demonstrate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to... We're getting close to that 12:30 time, 2:30 time.
I know, guys. We have a giveaway. We're announcing a giveaway at 2:30, guys. Thanks everybody so much for your support. YouTube family. Big up, officer,
All
big
right.
up and thanks. So yeah, we have a giveaway, guys. But yeah, so that's basically it. Just go through and do the stuff. Then I'm going to just go back to the share screen quick and fast. This one. So yeah. So basically after I did that, this is like the, just not a lot of stuff on the slide, just a basic.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not like I'm trying to give them a whole, you know what I mean?
Okay, these are content for the different slides within
the presentation.
A presentation. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the 11 facts of the early ways you're showing us right now. I see.
Yeah. So it's basically
very cool. So you did all of this week?
Yeah.
You told that you had this idea last week.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Bro. Call in sick every day?
I just did it when I came home from work, man.
Wow, you've been busy.
Yeah, trust me. It took me all right. So on over the weekend last week, since the Saturday, I didn't sleep Saturday, Sunday. I basically stayed up Saturday, Sunday.
Wow.
Figuring out the workflow, trying to figure out how I'd go about getting the content, getting everything, put them together, trying to figure out how to make the slides, trying to figure out how to animate everything, trying to figure out how I'm going to do the voice note. How I do the voice note, guys, I use like my phone. I record the voice on my phone and just send them to myself, because like I can read the thing and just talk in the phone. So I use like the voice note, because the iPhone have a really good mic.
It is. Yeah.
So I just send it to myself quick and fast. I did that for each slide. And yeah, it's been a process, but I'm glad I'm doing it. It's for a good cause. Yeah. Good. All right, so 12:30.
12:30. Okay, let me just do a brief catch up on chat, because there's not a whole lot in there. It'll be quick and easy to do, because this is where I left off before, and Ken Stout came in, said he's a bit late, catch up later. These videos from Chris, those videos remind me of my classes when I studied computer science at college here in Canada. Except for the programming class, there wasn't much content I found new for me. Sorry, the enter key on the numeric keypad. My arm pushed it when I'm typing. Yeah, that's okay. So that's the only thing new that we've had there. So then you have some kind of a giveaway. I think you mentioned something about a Ferrari. No, it wasn't a car. Go ahead.
I'm going to drop it in the chat. So I'm going to paste it in the chat. I just pasted something first. I will mail a copy of the book to you. I mean, we've been sharing knowledge, guys, and knowledge is power. So my mom wrote a book, and the first person, she wrote a motivational book, and the first person to drop her name and where she works in the chat, I'm going to just off air take your information, and I'll be mailing you a signed copy of that book. So I'll get her to autograph that book and I'll mail it to you. Yay!
All right. Yeah. So the challenge is, during the rest of this episode, to put in her name, your mom's name, and where she works.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the first one to do that, you're going to mail a copy of her book. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
She wrote a few books, and the last one is a motivational book. Okay. And that's the book I'm going to be giving away.
Gee, is Bertland Hope a motivated person? I don't know. Yes. Your mom wrote a motivational book,
Yes.
and this is a person who has had an influence on you, and
Yes.
we're seeing what you're doing. All right.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very
Mom.
cool.
Yeah. I love that lady. Big up to moms. If you're not watching or anything, if you ever watch mom, I love you. Big up.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So
Do you have
all right.
any technical topics you want to talk about? Any computer
Well,
topics?
yeah, I mean, the whole of the research I did was about computers, All right. So the first computing device was the abacus.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I knew that. I would have answered that if you'd asked me. I would have answered that because
Yeah.
I did a similar. I don't remember when or where it was, why I was doing it, but yeah, I did a course, and that's what I wound up teaching. Is that the first computing device abacus? Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a few different type of abacuses too. You
Sure.
have the Chinese abacus, the Russian abacus, and the Greek abacus.
Uh huh.
So there are different types of abacuses out there. I never knew that. I just knew that you had abacus, but doing the research. And then after
Oh.
that, you had something called Napier's bones, which is like the abacus but on steroids. So
Oh. Okay.
yeah,
Advanced abacus.
yeah. And then you had something called the Pascaline, which is a mechanical calculator.
Yeah.
It's yeah, the first mechanical calculator, and the difference engine by Mr. Babbage, Charles P. Babbage. Some of
Yeah.
these guys' names are so interesting. Babbage, Mr. Babbage. And he had Ada Lovelace. She was the first programmer, and she suggested that we use binary instead of like decimal to store the information or deal with the computer storage. So ones and zeros. So
Yeah.
that some of the discoveries in IT, like Boolean logic,
Yeah.
right? How computer systems are built on encapsulation is just so amazing because they just keep adding value, to the thing. Because Boolean logic is built into every circuit, every computer circuit, every is the and or and not thing. Like just those simple things, the logic gates are all built on those things. In terms of the computers that we're using now are just built on those things. It's just
Okay, well,
I
to pull, I doubt that we have anybody in chat or that watches these videos that started out with computers using an abacus. Um, probably more recent than that. But I do know that we have some that started out with punch cards, and I just started an audible book. This one right here, Not All Fairy Tales Have Happy Endings, The Rise and Fall of Sierra Online, by Ken Williams. And just over the first couple of chapters, he's telling about his early experiences with computers in college, where he was creating computer programs with punch cards. So each line of code is a separate punch card. So he would punch the card that issues a one line of code, and he delivers a stack of those cards. And he said he never even saw the computer. He delivered that to somebody else, and they would run the program, and what he expects to get back is a printout from whatever the program was that he did.
yes.
Now, my first office job involved punch cards.
Yes.
It was for real estate title research, and we had filing cabinets of these cards. The drawers would come out, and we go looking to find either by assessor's parcel number or by name indexes to try to find records of documents that were filed against properties or against people. And I would take a stack of cards from a certain portion and put them in this machine, punch some buttons to indicate which cards, what cards I'm looking for, and it would run through the machine and give me a small stack of cards that met my criteria.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I get the cards that I'm interested in, it gives me document numbers, and I can go look up the documents. That
Yeah.
was my first office job.
Yeah. What year was that? Because back in the day, they had something called the Enica. Enica. That's a giant. Enica it was an electrical numerical integrator and calculator, and it was actually used in the 1980s. It was used in the census basically to to do all of that to capture all of that information. Let me see if it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't
And
know. What year
oh,
was the first?
that would have been let's see, it was 78 probably, 1978 probably. Around there, probably 1978 through 1980, 81 that I was doing that work. Yeah, and we were also using Microfiche too. Microfiche and microfilm. I would pull up reels of microfilm, put them in this microfilm reader, and scrub through to find the document that those punch cards told me I needed to look at. And it was on microfilm to a certain date, and then after that, I don't know if it was after that or before that, but there was a break-off point where before or after that date then was on microfiche. So that's a sheet of microfilm that we put into a microfilm
Yeah.
reader, and display projects
Yeah.
with a lamp, projects onto the screen. And moving this tray around, we maneuver to the document that we're looking for, because they would be stored on there in document number order.
Wow. Yeah. And the internet started in 1969. So you started using computers a little bit after the internet started up.
Well, actually, I was a little bit of a go-getter myself back then. Now that was just out of high school. I actually made an appointment and went to the local IBM office to
Yeah.
engage them in a conversation for how can we computerize these records? How can we put these records on computer? I didn't have any authorization to do that, to go
Yeah.
have that conversation. I was
That is
just,
good.
kind of a
That is good.
try to a young kid out to conquer the world type of thing.
That is good, Doug, because look at you're in computers. That's what your bread and butter,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that wasn't going to be PCs. We never heard of PCs at that point. That was, what they were doing then was IBM mainframes.
Yeah. Those are the big things. I
Let's go
mean,
take let's go take a look at chat, shall
if
we?
anybody answered the question.
Oh, let's
What
see.
somebody said, Donna P.O. Professor. Yes, that's right.
Where am I? Except for programming class, I want to go back up here and catch. Okay, so good work. Oh, here's the book. Not much content. Yeah, nice. With all the content he created in a week, I'd have to say over motivated. Oops, I shouldn't have clicked on that one. You should do a video about the first Tetris game version made entirely from thousands of punch cards. Wait a minute, what?
Wow.
You should do a video about the first Tetris game version made entirely from thousands of punched
Punch card.
cards.
Yeah.
Is it a joke, or was something actually done along those lines? I think it's probably a joke.
I mean, I can check it out because
I
guys
don't know.
have been known to do some crazy
Oh,
things.
look at this. Donna Hope Professor.
Yes.
Is that, did Ken get it right?
Yeah, he did. And
He
he said
did.
Institute of Caribbean Studies.
All right.
And he-
Oh,
and he-
Institute
and
Caribbean. Oh, yeah, he
And
got
he's
that
also
too.
right. Yeah.
And then Tim Sal
Yeah.
says, I remember using that type of microfiche. Wow, that was a long time ago. And actually, more correctly, when I saw that, I was going, wait a minute, how did we spell it? It was actually microfiche, was a more correct way to pronounce it. And I think it was micro Fiche, I want to say.
Yes.
BH Ringer saying hello. So hello, BH Ringer and Institute of Caribbean Studies. Awesome. Good job, Ken.
Yes. Thank you. We have our winner.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So That's the copy of the book. That's the name of the book. I'm going to drop the name of the book and a link to the book on Amazon.
Oh, great.
But it's basically, yeah. Let me just drop this. So the name of the book I'm going to be giving away is Chicken Back Gravy and Such Delights, Life Lessons from My Journey. And this is a link to the author on Amazon. And this is a link to the book as well as with a little review from Amazon. It's too much to copy, so let me copy the link alone. Yeah, that's the lady right there.
Awesome.
That's the lady right there.
You have a beautiful mother as well.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
And that's the link to her book. So Chicken Back Gravy is the purple one, but it's on the page there as well that you were on. So that's
there
the
we go.
book. Yeah. So that book right there, and you see that book right there, that angel is actually a splash of gravy, guys. That's a splash of gravy done by Chef Noel Cunningham. And we had done a photo shoot of gravy splashes on plates. And he sent
up
us,
here. Okay.
Yeah, he sent us a gravy splash. A few of them when we chose a few of them.
I get the connection now. Chicken back gravy and such delights. All right.
And actually we worked on that book together, entirely self-published and produced by us. You know, so that book right there is actually all laid out by myself in design. Yeah. And everything inside of that book. Mommy wrote the text, but basically we put it out. I gave her what do you call it? I gave her what do you call that thing at the back? So I set her up nice, man, like a very professional book. We have ISBN and barcode at the back and color font in there, and yeah, man, it's proper.
Very good.
Mommy is a very motivational lady. You know, you can follow her journey, and just if you're going through a tough time, just know that with hard work and determination, you can change the situation. You know, you can change the situation.
It looks like Chris has given us more information about that Tetris with punch cards.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the version released 1984 by Alexei Payetnov, but the first version of this game was made with punch cards. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop my email. I want Tim just send me an email after the end of the show, because what I want to do, I just want to get your information off here.
For Ken. Gary's here. Hello, Gary. Good to see you.
Ken was the one that won, or
it was Ken. Ken Stout.
Ken, please. Sorry, Ken. I'm going to drop my email. Yes, and you just send me info bertlandhope@gmail.com or bertlandhope@icloud.com.
Here's what we're laughing about. Chicken recipes in the back. Actually, that would be kind of a cute touch. I'm going to guess that's a no.
Yeah, and I actually have multiple versions of this book planned, so in the next version, I'm going to make sure I'm including that for it out of version.
There you go. Yeah, put a chicken recipe in it.
definitely will be doing that. But yeah, so that's just it, So next week, for more of the same. Basically, long nights until I complete the entire syllabus, and then I can start. What I'm going to do is after I complete the syllabus is basically run like you have the exam. So what my teachers used to do for me back in the day, right? Because most of this stuff don't change. It's the same thing. It's like it's right or wrong. So what we used to do is we used to have like these marathons, and what we used to do is we used to have the computer sheet, and we used to run multiple choice questions, and we used to try to see how much you can get right before you get the first wrong one. So all we used to do run 100 multiple choice, and how much you can get right before you get the first wrong one. So people when you just start out, we run the same, like we have like 10 exam papers, and we just run them. So we do them feel like all a whole month, we just do them every morning. Every morning we do some, every afternoon we do some. So we just do them. And then eventually, like when you start out, some persons, you have persons are naturally gifted. Some people I get 30 right before them get none wrong. Some people I get 15 right before them get none wrong. You see, after like the month, some people I get 80 right before them get none wrong. Some people I get 90 right before them get none wrong. Some people I get 95
Wow.
right before them
Wow.
get none wrong. Some people I get 100 right and I get none wrong. You see me? And we do that every day. We come and we just run the question them. We just run the question them. So we just know the thing them. So when I go into the exam, when I go into my common entrance and my high school exam them, I don't have to think about the question them, especially the multiple choice. I just know the answer. I just one of them I don't know, me just make a mark and move on. So that's my plan for after create all of this content and like get my name out there. Persons know that Bertland Hope is creating content for this. I just go and start run like some marathon camps when it's close to exam and stuff, to boost persons, and if they need assistance with anything, boost them confidence to go into the exam. Just make them can just look at the question and just know the answer.
Man, this sounds so good. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a little diversion back a step. We were talking about older computers, and Kerry Holzman was showing off this one on his channel. So I just brought up a picture of that here. This guy right here.
Yeah.
That was actually. Let's see, wasn't that done with wires in the back? I think that he would use to.
Wait, that's the. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That is.
Let's
computer is like, wait, oh my word, I know which computer that is.
Altar 8800 there.
Yeah, that is the first personal computer, bro. That right there, that computer, Dr. Henry Howard, aka Ed Roberts, right? That computer right there.
I don't know the name. I don't personally know the history of it, but he's
MITS.
Yeah, he's just showing that off, and now that's part of his display there.
That's the first. You see that computer, the same year that computer was being built, Microsoft approached MITS to build Microsoft, because Microsoft was actually building hardware before them start build MS-DOS. Yeah, they were actually into hardware before they started to do DOS. But that computer right there is like, yo, bro. If you're into computers, that right there is like the first computer we can have in a house, like a small thing that's personal, a miniaturized thing. I'm like, what? And I saw it. I was actually watching his live stream the other day. I came up and I saw it and I was like, what's that? But now that I'm looking at the name, I'm saying, whoa.
Yeah.
That is crazy, bro.
That other box that he has there is a thing that he purchased and ordered off of not off of Amazon. I think he ordered it from a builder provider that he found. So it looks like an old time radio. Why can't I not zoom in on this? It's not wanting to do that very well. But this guy up here, and this is a modern day build to look like an old rustic, and it's a clock. It's got these special little lights up here. You can barely see the numbers.
Yeah, 012200 or 03, something like so. 012203. I like.
Yeah, that's so. It was from somebody that makes these specialty type of clocks using those lights. So he's just adding to his display, and he also recently added this neon gadget back here for his logo. Now let's get this back to where I was. Let's see, come back to Zoom, and let's see. Oh, looks like we got some stuff coming in on chat. Let me.
Yeah, chat guard stuff.
Well, because I've been messing around with my Zoom, this is kind of all crazy now. Let's get this. Yeah. Come on, zoom down. Go down for me. My scroll wheel isn't working there. Let me do something. Fix this over here, maybe. Yeah. That works. I'm using the menu to do that, and then come back to here and see what we got. Program switches, 80. Yeah, there's okay, the Altair 5000 replica, 8800 is a correction for that, I think.
Yeah.
B.H. Ringer to Gary at that time, 74. I worked for Canadian National Railways. My job title was key punch operator. Worked for telecom company before and after that, self-employed tech for 20 years.
Key punch operator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ken, yes, that is what Kerry said it was. The first computer, yeah. And he's correcting his spelling there. Chris, that reminds me of the old 7-inch floppies when I was a kid, before the 5-inch ones. Yeah, let's see. I never actually did anything with 7-inch floppies. My start was with 5 1/4-inch floppies.
Yep.
And then the first computer I bought looked like one of those portable sewing machines. The brand was AMQ. Compaq had a similar. So this AMQ was kind of an offshoot or a copycat, you might say. And it would unbuckle, and I could fold down the keyboard, and then exposed. It would stand up like a sewing machine, and then I would lay it down on its side, and the front, I could unclip it, and it comes down. That's a keyboard with a cable, and it had two 5 1/4-inch floppy drives, and I booted on one, and the data would be on the other, and then I added a hard card, which is a hard drive on an adapter card, because this computer had a slot for adding a card.
Yeah.
Then let's see, come back and catch up more. Program switches by the front. Altair, Microsoft DOS came out in 1981, the same year the IBM PC came out. MS-DOS renamed from 86 DOS, owned by Seattle Company Products, written by Tim Patterson. MS-DOS was a renamed form of 86DO. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't aware of that either.
I have to question whether there was a typo there. Did he mean to do DOS? I don't know.
No.
Was it 86DO? I'm not aware of that. Bertland, what's the update on the computer build for Romaine?
That computer build, we're actually waiting on we're sourcing. We're going to get some new parts for her so she can test the other remaining parts. Because I say we don't have any spare CPU or motherboard. So.
Yeah, boy, that's a long haul build, isn't it? Taking a while to get that done. Okay. Well, all right. Sometimes it doesn't go according to plan. MS-DOS renamed. Oh, yeah, here we go. So it's a correction there. MS-DOS was renamed form of 86 DOS, owned by Seattle Company Computer Products, written by Tim Patterson. So my recollection was more along the lines that there was IBM DOS. Yeah, IBM had their disk operating system, and then MS-DOS came along somewhere after that. Now MS at that point, Microsoft, so Bill Gates involved with it at that point, and then there was somehow that. So
I think what happened is after MS-DOS was released, right? Because what happened is Mac was also released, right? Apple was released, and then Macintosh was released, like Macintosh with its own operating system, basically, So they had released something called IBM OS 2.
Oh, right? I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the operating system that IBM was working on, IBM OS 2, which was.
Well, now wait a minute. IBM OS 2 that came after IBM DOS. It's my recollection.
Right. So MS-DOS was initially it was delivered as IBM. MS-DOS was commissioned. It was actually released under IBM. So MS-DOS was a product of IBM. It was.
Yeah, there was some kind of partnership there. There was a actually, I think it was called PC-DOS that I had before MS-DOS.
Okay.
And then IBM came out with an OS 2. I'm sure people in the chat are knowing this more correct. I don't think we need to get all the details just right on that. We're just kind of reminiscing a little bit. So it looks like Gary's correcting that was an 8-inch rather than 7-inch. And Chris responding to that, I guess. Start
Commodore
with the
PET.
Commodore PET
Yeah.
computer.
The
Had
Commodore
the
PET, the Apple
floppy
II.
on it, no mouse, just a keyboard. Okay, so I remember when I was, I'm not sure what age I would have been, but one of my older brothers had I want to say it was a Commodore 64. That's the one where it's just a keyboard and you connect it to a television set and connected it to a cassette tape player and a cassette tape recorder for storage. So we were over there at the family gathering sometime. I want to say it might have been a Christmas or something like that. I think I must have been married by that time. I don't think Christy had been born yet. But so I went off into a room and started tinkering with that, going through his manual and just created, a little program that would say, type out the word hello or hello world, something like that, and then save it on the cassette tape. All right.
Yeah.
Catching up over here. Chris, 35 years ago, I was 6. Hello, everyone from Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Was the hard card by AST? Boy, you know what? When I got the hard card for that computer, I would not have known AST as a brand name. It easily could have been, and I have no way of verifying that. And I want to say it would have been 10 megabytes on a hard card.
10 megs.
Yeah, I think so. And I think
Whoa.
I think I was also able to upgrade the memory by putting in some of those chips that IC chips, what are they called? The rectangle brick of a chip with all the wire pins and push it into slots.
It's let me tell you exactly.
Catherine asks how far along is the AMD build in Jamaica? Catherine, you just missed Bertland's summary of that. Basically, finding parts for it.
Yeah.
Really nothing to report on it yet. Hello's there, waiting for parts. So thank you, Ken, for answering that. And Chris Garrett, hello. Chris McGraw, Bill Gates first recommended to IBM the original operating system creator. He ignored them and they approached Gates and he created MS-DOS from the guy he first recommended. Yeah, I do remember there was something there that was kind of a little aggressive in the way.
Bill Gates is a businessman.
Yeah, he was after the business and he got it. Yeah. And Catherine, not the CPU. I gave the repair center 2 times the order to replace the CPUs in 1.5 years. During my Lenovo operating system job, iCPUs to fail is very rare. Oh, she's saying that she doesn't think the problem with Romaine's computer is the CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. At this point, I'm considering this to be in their hands. We're not in charge. Eager to see a good result come out of that for Romaine. And BH Ringer, oldest functioning machine I have is an Atari 1040 ST from 1984. He has it functioning.
Yeah. You have Kangaroo and stuff. You have the games on it. It's crazy, man.
I remember considering many times during my life thinking I should hold on to some of these old computers. It might be fun to have around at some time.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Show somebody something with a floppy drive. I'm sure on a DVD drive, a CD-ROM drive.
Chris DeGarry had an AST 486 DX2 with Windows 95. Yeah, I had a bunch of AST 46s in the computer training center where I was an employee for a few years.
I just got an email.
Hellos. Hellos. 1986 was the birth of Windows 1.0.
1.0.
Yeah. I think my first exposure was Windows 3.0. I think I caught a brief exposure after the fact to, I think there was a 2.0. Maybe I just, had a few minutes on a computer that had it, if I'm remembering that right. I returned from the vet for vaccines for my 2 cats. Wow. I say wow only because many of the times when Catherine comes in to join us on a Saturday, there's something going on with the vet for her cats. But anyway, I hope that's it sounds like a good thing to get them vaccines. It wasn't a illness visit. So, Gary, Bill Gates bought 86 DOS and leased it to IBM as PC DOS. Yes, that sounds familiar. Then sold MS DOS to every PC maker. 86 DOS, MS DOS, PC DOS, basically the same. Yes, I do remember it seemed like there was some slight difference in some of the commands. Maybe it was just the version of command that was going to give you a different version. Yeah, 10 megs was a lot. Yeah, that's right. Hi, all a bit late from Ada. Was watching on my TV. You really gone back in time, bring out so many memories. Yeah, this is kind of fun. Yeah, hard card was an MFM drive, 5 meg. DIMMs were 16K. I'll believe that. Hard card was an MFM drive, 5 megs. So maybe he's correcting my memory there, saying it couldn't have been 10 megs. Okay. My memory says it was 10, but I'm not very confident in that. Did Bertland order the CPU from AMD to update the CPU? Catherine, I need you to let go of that. That computer is out of our control. We don't have any more control over it. No more influence. Please, no, we're done with it. Hellos. Chris, you heard of Ed Roberts? He was a computer engineer. He lived in the town where I lived in Georgia. He taught at the college. No, there are a few people that have bin computer engineers over the years that I never have had an opportunity to meet. You think just a few? No, I haven't heard of Ed Roberts. I'm sure there's lots of famous people in computers that I don't know of. So no, basically the answer is no. Hello's there. First computer, 20 megabyte hard disk and floppy. Still have it. Still works from Ada. Ken's doing good. Gary, Chris, and me. IBM and Bill Gates went to CPM, but the guy went flying in his private plane. Gary Cadell. I sure recognize that name. Can't quite place why. That was a wrong click. Wow. That's from Gary. IBM and Bill Gates went to CPM, but the guy went flying in his private plane. I'm deducing there was a crash. Chris, that reminds me of the APU's AM4 5000G coming out August 5th. This is something that's about to come out. I'm not really up on what he's talking about there. Darren, too hard to work with. He could be referring to any of the things that we've been talking about. I indeed should move in at the vet or above. Catherine, my best wishes to you with your cats. I know you love them. And I know they've got some issues going on. Probably, I think mostly age. Yeah, he created DOS. Gary Cadell, I guess. Yeah, the CPM. Okay, that makes sense. Gates just copied his work. Yes. No crash, just fun. Oh, okay. He's saying they just went flying and just talking about a fun time they had. And I think most of you know that I'm a pilot, and I spent a good 10 years focused on that as a hobby. Yes, I'm excited to Chris McGraw. I think that would have been about that. The AM. I guess this is an AMD 5000 that's coming out. They were only available in pre-builts until now, and I guess that's still the AMD. Well, I'll tell you what, my friend, we just gone over our 1 hour time, and Chris is answering yes to that for AMD, I think. So, shall we call this a wrap?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I was just looking at some old boards on a site I found. It was just nostalgic, some old PC
Okay,
board.
yeah, this was a fun trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
All right, so wow, what are we going to see from you next week? I just
More knowledge. More
Yeah.
knowledge, guys. More knowledge. More knowledge. I'm just on this path right now.
All right, there's Catherine asking people to like the video. I'm seeing 17 concurrent viewers. I'm seeing 8 likes. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. And we're just going to go ahead and say goodbye at the same time right now.
All right,
and,
everybody.
Yeah, okay, that'll be it.
Yeah, I'll see you guys. Remember to like and subscribe.
All right, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Have a great day.